Hebrew Israelites, we come in week and week out to prophesy against this wicked kingdom, America, who's known in the Bible as, well, many names. Mystery Babylon, Mystery Egypt, Babylon the Great whore among many. And we also want to tell the people on this sign, the so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American Indians, to return, to repent, to come back to the true God in the Bible, whose name, his true name is Yahweh, and that means he is or he exists. But you can't go directly to Yahweh, you have to go through his son, his only begotten son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But his true name is Yahushai, and his name means he is the deliverer. The deliverer of what? The deliverer of the elect of this sign, the 144,000, and the great multitude, the 1/3. Before we continue on, we want to turn and face the east and give all praise and glory and honors to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elder apostles and all the elders, bishops, and all the elders who taught us this truth, this gospel, this good news, and to all the Akim out there who are laboring the truth, and the brothers out there who are listening and learning, and the few sisters who are listening and learning. To you, we say a sincere shalom, peace. I look at my watch, May 3rd, 2026, the year that our apostle coined as the year of apostasy, agents and sellouts. It's going by quick. We're almost halfway through this year, and so much has happened. Think about what's been from the beginning of the year, back in January, until now. And really the big thing, one word I can think of, is war. War and all the things that go with war. But war is nothing new. We've been prophesying from the elders down, and also the prophets before us, about war. Look at Jeremiah 28 and 8.
So the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Now, real quick, isn't America a great country? Isn't America a great kingdom? Probably we can argue it's probably the greatest kingdom that's ever been on the planet, has ever been.
It says, and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Of war, of evil, of pestilence. All those three things are happening now. Some people can say it's been happening before, but you got to look at the intensity and the frequency as things are happening. Things are going to get worse, much worse. This is just the beginning. The beginning. Matthew 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm going to start at 4, yeah. Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed. And shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Up there and I'll break it down. All right. Wars and rumors of wars. Right now we know the Iran war is happening. It's kind of a lull right now, but believe me, it's going to start up again very soon. We have a war in Ukraine. Again, you don't hear too much about it, but believe me, it's coming. And there's a major player in that Ukraine war, Russia, who has a big play in the final end. We have rumors of war. People are talking about eventually China is going to invade Taiwan. And that may lead us into that war as well. And then we have North Korea as well. Yeah, thank you. North Korea as well. And then we have President Trump right now. He went into Venezuela. He's now the president of Venezuela, basically. He's threatening of going into Cuba. He's gone into Mexico. He's gone into Colombia. He's threatening going into Greenland to take some of their resources and be hold up the EU nations.
It's like talking about Iran. Iran is the catalyst nation. shooting at nuclear missiles in America. All right, like you said, there's always been war since the beginning. But this time, measuring time diligently, matching up the current events, and the MOTB, that's out, but it's not mandatory. All right, but we're coming up to that time, and it's gonna be wars. Iran gonna be that main catalyst, So, hey, we're in that time, man. The elected waking up. You got mass shares, Israel sightings, so-called UFOs. You got AI. You got robots. You're about to see robots walking up and down the street in the next probably six months or something. So yeah, man.
So yeah, rumors and rumors of war. But again, it's not the end yet. Many things still have to happen. As the elder said, the MOTB, martial law, civil war, and of course hyperinflation, which is starting to happen now. So we got to know what time it is. Somebody give me Romans 13 and 11.
This is the book of Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light.
Getting closer to the end. You got to know what time it is. How about that? You got to know what's happening. The Bible says, the Bible says, watch as well as pray. You got to watch what's going on. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Because if you miss one day, you miss a lot. But things are just happening that fast.
Point. Like we read the precept last night, but Yahushua called our people hypocrites because they can discern the face of the sky, but they can't discern the signs of the times. You have to know what to look for. It's not about just watching. You can watch all day, but you have to know what to look for.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the times diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Okay, who is that he? Ezra is kind of the same one as the Holy Spirit angel. The angel's giving them secrets of prophecy. Ezra has to fast to receive those revelations. Alright? But hey, this is spiritual, man. Ezra's conversation with an angel, man. Alright? Ezra, had heavy prophecies. Like Yahushua, wars. That's mentioned in Ezra. So all these same prophecies that's written in this book, we're talking about the end.
These are the tokens that he's talking about. We're starting to see these tokens now. And one of the big ones is war.
It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things for the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For as like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is made manifest.
So what does it mean? What does the word manifest actually mean? It means to make something that's made clear. You can look around and you can just feel the vibration. You can look at your phone, your smartphone, and if you have like these apps like Newsweek, all these different news apps, it's constant all these articles popping out about something drastic happening, some new disaster occurred, some rumor of war going on, a ruler of a nation making a bold declaration towards another nation. That's all part of those signs. Another uproar, another big protest that turned violent. That all comes with that. So these are are the major signs to be able to measure where we're at prophetically.
That's a big protest coming in America. All the time is gas prices, inflation going up. So people about to lose it.
Right.
It's about to be more and more violent.
Yeah, these people they're in a broken state because they're realizing, they had so much hope and trust in a society that's been already written to fall. So they're starting to see these effects, and now the hope that they once had is now becoming pessimistic, so to speak. They're losing hope. They're realizing that their future is looking more and more grim day by day. They're not looking forward to, especially the younger generation. They're not looking forward to the future here.
They don't want to work.
No, and everybody's burnt out.
Motherfucking we call them Generation Z. They don't want to work. They work a year and they fed up. And they're looking for some type of relief. The world is eventually, mainly people here in Babylon is looking for relief. You think this devil gonna stop being wicked? This devil gonna turn it up on y'all, like the elder was saying. It's gonna be heavy protests. And eventually, those protests are gonna turn violent. Because we all know, ain't nothing ever came from going out there marching in the street and we shall overcome spirit. People gonna get violent here in America.
And right now we're talking about workers and stuff. Spirit Airlines just went out of business just yesterday. 14,000 people gone like that. So we're talking about workers and everything else. Providing seats. Actually, somebody get that in Ecclesiastes 12 and 3.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Yep, these people don't want to work. They don't want to grind. And really, the grind is starting to cease anyway. This economy is slowly shutting down. It's slowly shutting down. And you're right, the elder said people are starting to sense it. People are starting to think it's no hope. And really, truly, there is no hope. This place is destined to go down. The only hope that you have is Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai. That's the hope that you have. You need to get to that hope. And we're here to tell you this before it's too late. This is not going to go on forever. There's a grace period, but eventually the doors close.
I got to read verse 4. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sounding of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All the stores will be shut off.
Shut off. And how can that be? How can the store shut off just like that? The Lord that we're seeing now, that's straight. The straight of it's still closed. 20% of our oil goes through there. But not only oil. People talk about the oil and your gas prices going up, which does affect your car and also transportation. Like we talked about the jet fuel, where airlines are going out of business, which is going down. But also in those tankers, there's also chemicals that the farmers need to fertilize. They need that. So what's going to happen if this continues, and I think it will continue, matter of fact, it will get worse, that the farming industry, let's say starting the fall, they're not going to have enough fertilizer to fertilize their crops. So what that means is that they're not going to be able to farm as many food. Exactly. And what's that going to lead? Famine. Very simple. Logically, just play through. That's how things start to happen.
And it's an engineered famine. It's done on purpose, man. The reason why we're living in these conditions is because the rulers of this world want it to be like that. You know, this is not by accident. Oh, the land is just not producing. You know, we gotta pray. No, it's because they are purposely doing this, man.
If I can real quick, this is from Los Angeles Times. It says California braces for uncertainty as last shipment of Persian Gulf oil arrives in Long Beach. This is the last one. The last California-bound oil tanker to pass through the Strait of Hormuz since war erupted is at the port of Long Beach, offloading its valuable cargo. 2 million barrels of crude destined to be transformed into gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel.
That Iranian oil is better than the Venezuelan oil. Because the Venezuelan oil is thicker. So you got to refine it more. Right? So yeah, you said what's up, 20%? That was coming to America?
20% of the world's you know, and real quick, there's another strait on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. It's called Ahmad.
It's on the Somali side.
I look at it. Yeah.
Somalia side.
Oman and Somalia. Yeah, I looked it up yesterday.
Basically, it's on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula, going through the Red Sea. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the choke point of it is the country Yemen, who Yemen is basically in league. The Houthi rebels are in league with Iran, and there could be a time here where they can get league and close down that strait, and that strait produces another 10 to 12% of the world oil. So what will happen then? Instead of 20%, now it's 30% plus. It's going to make it even worse. Just imagine. And then the Suez Canal that runs through this Red Sea, that's going to be shut down. So basically Egypt is screwed. So all this thing is happening and it's going to domino. It's a domino effect. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. We're not in the time of peace. We are in the time of war. We are in the time of war. We're not in that season. Somebody get the Ecclesiastic 3:1, please.
It's not 100%.
Ecclesiastes 3:1. And it reads, so like Ecclesiastes 3:1. And it says, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sue. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
A time of war and a time of peace. Guess what time we're in? We're not in peace. We're in war. War.
Why you think Pete Hegseth, why you think the Pentagon, they changed from the Department of Defense to the Department of War? This man, he's in war mode. He knows that his kingdom is slipping between his fingertips.
It's almost like it makes sense because they're never on the defense, they're always on the offense. Their Esau's always the aggressor, you know, and in this instance, it's not working out for them in this fight against Iran. And in the long run, it's not going to work out for them. America doesn't win this war.
Yep, they don't win this war. And you know, you see Trump, he's saying, I don't know how many times he said, we won this war, we've done everything well, Iran is this, we're negotiating, but really he's negotiating with himself. Every time he says something, Iran says, we never said this, we never agreed to this. This is a play. This is a show.
And you mentioned war. It's propaganda. War is good.
Yep.
War for your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what the scripture says. Many devices in a man's heart, but the Lord's counsel that shall stand. You know, the elder mentioned P. Hicks that Trump briefly spoke a couple weeks ago. And he was, like he was saying, he was leading on like we was going to get to some kind of agreement. And he was like, when I was telling P. Hicks about it, he was disappointed. He was like, oh, that sucks. You know, because he want war. That's why shit just got shook up in the Pentagon. A lot of high-ranking military officials just got cut loose because they're not with the agenda, man.
They're going through a purge right now.
Yeah.
But you see, they're sending ships. They're talking about troops going into there. If they won this war and everything's under control, why the hell are they doing that? Because they haven't.
Why they still floating the draft?
That's another thing, the draft. Not only that, they increased the age of the draft. And the draft, that's coming too. And for your sisters as well, watch out. They can easily change the law that in not men, but also women. So don't think you're out of it, because you may not be.
And it was also mentioned that all them generals got fired. So what you think them generals gonna do? Sit back?
Right.
Because they got the ideology that, you know, their constitution is being breached or whatever. So they're gonna be ahead. They're gonna be ahead of these different militia organizations that's gonna come up against the powers that be. That's why you got civil war.
Civil war coming.
Mentioned in Isaiah 19.
A lot of these Bill of Rights, constitutional, Edomite, patriotic Babylonians, they're realizing that their society has been compromised to the Israeli regime. So now that they're figuring this out, they're realizing our government just committed treason.
That's why it makes it so easy for them to leave. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not with this shit.
This is not what we sworn in
Right,
for.
right.
So now you got disgruntled warriors in the White House. That's not good. What did the Lord say about a kingdom being divided? It shall not stand. So that's how you're gonna have a lot of infighting. This is how civil war gets stirred up. With all this division and disagreement. You know? The fact that people are getting ready to get, because they're realizing, why the hell would I go over there and fight in a war for a group of people who actually see me as less than nothing? They view me as cattle, as goyim. You know, why would I go over there and be a sacrifice for these people? So that's what that sentiment is going to be echoed all throughout society, and that's how you know that there's going to be war from within.
Yeah. You get sent over to slaughter people on the other side of the world for what? For what? To make the plutocrat, what's that word? Plutocracy. The owners of the world, the elite, to make them richer. While you come back as a veteran, and you might end up homeless. And now your conscience is you can't sleep at night because you're replaying what you did to the people on the other side of the world, man.
You have to kill babies and civilians.
Because you're not fighting a righteous war based on truth. Fighting wars based on lies.
Yeah, bring it out. Talk about the second Esdras 15, 14.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and nations shall rise against one another with swords in their hands. For there shall be no constancy with the people, and when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and practice violence in all their dealings."
Eventually, it's going to get so bad out here, people are not going to listen to the government anymore. They're going to put their matters in their own hands. It's going to get chaotic out here. It's going to get almost like a Mad Max situation. It's going to get bad. People just don't realize it. They don't see it. They don't connect the dots, but they better start to connect the dots because it's coming, whether you like it or not.
There's a thing called gradualism, man. You apply heat to water long enough, eventually that water is going to boil. The heat been being applied for some time now. So the only thing left is for shit to boil over, man.
And you people are that frog in that pot, where you slowly turn it up, and next thing you know, he don't know that his ass is getting cooked. And that's the same thing that's happening to you American people. Y'all don't see what the hell is going on. They just play some music and you niggas just tune it out.
Funny you said the words. Americans are cooked. America's cooked. That's just, literally. It's cooked and finished. Stick a fork in it. Alright? This place is out of there. This will go cook this shit. And this is gonna finish it off. So put some cherry on top of the whole thing.
Yeah, I still made it look good.
You know?
Back in 2nd Ezra 15, verse 16. Verse 17. So that when a man desired to go into the city, ye shall not be able. For because of their haughtiness, the city shall be troubled. Their pride, their house is full of fear.
If I could jump in with that, city shall be troubled. Hey, it looks like peace in all the cities. It looks like, I can still go to the grocery store, I can still go to the movies or whatever.
It's still house parties.
Yeah, it still is.
Well, listen now.
Right? But at some point, you're gonna be too scared to leave. You're gonna have to decide, damn, do I cross over the danger to go get food? You know, my way to work yesterday was crazy detour, had the 5 checks, I was identity checks, scans, and whatever else. All right?
To your point, let's watch California in the next 2 weeks, because California is not one of the metropolitan cities like New York or Chicago, where you're dependent on public transportation. Majority of people drive out there. So,
about LA?
LA, Southern California. So, and gas is already at $6-7. If it hit, once they run through that fuel, or refine it and run through that, so we can say about a month maybe. Yeah. Then what?
And I was thinking, going back to when the prophecy said that they would have swords in their hands. We know that this is a Second Amendment bearing society. Everybody has access or actually own a firearm. The conditions are going to be so severe that people are not going to leave their home without a firearm. That's how it's going to be. When you see that the movie Book of Eli, there was a reason why he had to walk around with that big ass 12 gauge on his back. And a machete. Yeah. Like you literally don't know if you're gonna get into a shootout. Somebody might try to, come from around a building, behind a building with something chunky. You just would never know. That's how it's gonna get in society, man.
A lot of these open carry states are going to really begin to exercise that, where right, yeah,
If
man.
I could segue back to your point, as Trump was saying, who you think is going to come get you? But as Trump was saying, go ahead in these cities in Chicago, ICE, get warmed up. Basically, because he knows those are a lot of his troops. Right. Those are probably going to be the heads of his leadership of the military when they start making these operations. But they need more troops because people aren't as willing. Alright, so what they had the brother look up, I know we saw in the news that somebody just ordered a bunch of robots that are set up for war.
Oh yeah, they're militarizing AI now.
Yeah.
That's a part of Palantir sent out a 22-point manifesto this week, and that was one of the points of we need to have get robots before our enemies gather them or gain the control. Yeah.
I just saw a report that in Atlanta, to quell crime,
Yeah.
they got robot police dogs patrolling like parking garages, you know, parking structures, or you know how like apartment complexes, they have their own secure lots where security have to basically patrol the lot to make sure everything is safe, because they experiencing, you know, car break-ins, theft, burglaries and stuff like that. So they got robot dogs with big ass cameras, police sirens on them, you know, stuff, all types of things built into it, so that if somebody tries to hop a fence and intrude, the dog will actually alert the authorities, and they'll immediately right then and there just pop up.
To your point, Elder, I didn't know this, but this kind of went under the radar, right under everyone's nose. Atlanta has the most cameras than any place in the world, with the exception of like 2 or 3 cities in China. And no one knew that. They got all these cameras, so Atlanta is almost basically a pilot program for the New World Order in Babylon. So they have all these cameras, and what are these cameras doing? They're monitoring. I'm pretty sure the cameras are probably run by Palantir. They got
AI too.
they got your facial recognition, and eventually you won't be able to get into this building, that building, a library without some type of biometric identification.
It says, as of early 2026, Foundation, a US-based startup, has sent Phantom MK1 humanoid robots to Ukraine for field evaluation and reconnaissance. These 6-foot robots, which resemble human forms in black steel with tinted visors, are designed for military tasks to reduce human risk on the battlefield.
That is an opposing look. 6 foot versus we saw another one that said 5'9". 6 foot is a little more imposing, and all black with the tinted. Yeah, that's cool.
And not only that, they can make the robots look human-like. So
they can put the skin on.
they can put skin on. They
robots.
It says the capabilities and functionality, the robots are designed to handle or be tested with various weapons, including rifles and shotguns, and to assist with logistics and hazardous material handling. These robots operate without fatigue, navigating and balancing in challenging environments using AI-driven systems.
Right, because think about it, using technology to police people. The technology, it doesn't suffer the human
error.
Right. It doesn't need lunch breaks. It doesn't get tired.
They ain't gonna get hurt
It
on the
doesn't
job.
have feelings.
The Kyle Reese from Terminator 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't, what Thomas told him earlier was he said,
It can't be bargained with.
It can't be bargained with.
Reasoned
It can't
with.
be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pain or fear or pity or remorse. It absolutely will not stop until its mission basically is executed.
It's like Esau. You know how the Most High has the angels that Esau got his wicked angels on the left hand.
They like the angels, they don't get tired, they don't get weary, it says. Well, the robots ain't gonna get weary either. So Esau does have his left hand angels.
It says the aim is to use them in high-risk environments with plans to scale up production significantly by next year. It says the deployment of these humanoid systems highlights a shift in the conflict toward, or as some have described it, Terminator-style warfare.
They can set up autonomous target systems, and that can actually be a threat to civilians. Because what if that system goes rogue and just start taking people out, like over in China, in that warehouse? But that's what they're gearing for, because Israel already have that technology. They was using that on the Palestinians. Autonomous weapon systems.
Autonomous drone systems.
Yeah.
Drop bombs and shit.
Yeah.
Chemical bombs.
Yeah, man.
They love war because they can test it with all the toys that they have on the people.
Yeah. See, this is going back into your topic. This is all what comes with the times of war. Esau, he's on a war path. You know? He ain't finna give up his kingdom that easy.
Alright, y'all got me scared. Here you go. Hell no.
He trying to get it rolling. He know the Lord is coming for his ass. You know? You killing off your wise men? Why you doing that? Why are you so paranoid that you killing off your own scientists? When are they finding out that you don't want the world to know?
Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. That was a prayer, by the way. That's straight up a prayer. So we need to learn that. But the point is, this man is a sword of the Heavenly Father. So you gotta know that this is the spirit is on Trump in the left hand and the oligarchy and the Illuminati, all of those guys, man, to make the moves that's being made. The Heavenly Father wants war, world war. As it says in Joel, the 3rd chapter at the top, it says this is he's going to bring again the captivity. Basically, he's going to deal with our captivity to bring us out of it, but it's going to be through war, world war. He's going to settle up everybody to release us out of captivity. So war is prophetic for a purpose, okay? But overall, just to bring up the war angle, the overall mission is a lot of people got to die, man. It needs to be major war so people, a mass amount of people can die, then they'll realize it's judgment from the Heavenly Father.
That's Revelation 6 and 4, dealing with the red horse. That prophecy is stating there's going to be so many casualties worldwide as a result of war. You know?
He was given that sword.
Take away the peace from the earth.
And they say it's not. They said it's not guns that kill people. It's not even bullets that kill people. It's the people with that in their hand. So how much worse is this weapon, this sword, this gun, in the mind of a killer, of a murderer? He was a murderer from the beginning. So this is the Heavenly Father created him perfectly to be in this moment.
This man is able to sanction a nation into submission. And when the word sanction sounds less offensive as bombs and missiles.
Yeah.
So when you hear it on the news, it's just, they're just sanctioning another country.
Sanction is a family.
It's a starvation tactic, man. Starving the people out until rebelling against their government to ignite an uprising.
That's just, if I can one more, to back up what he just read, Psalm 17, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Psalm 140 and 1 is the Psalm of David. It says, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart continually. Are they gathered together for war?
Continually gathered together for war. That's what's on his mind.
In 2 Ezra 16 and 71, I'll start at 70, I'll get 71. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like mad men, sparing none.
That's him with this bloodlust. That's Eve with this bloodlust. And what do you think he's going to program his robots to have?
That's the spirit, because that word like is used forth as a simile. Right? It says they shall be like mad men, sparing none. So it can represent the troops, or it can represent these AI bots, man, that Esau is about to set forth in the streets. It says they shall be.
What does it mean to be a madman? Somebody whose screws is totally unscrewed. Like basically, you're not reasonable. Yeah. Like we were just talking about the robots. Yeah. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with.
They don't care about that shit.
Yeah. They should have no pity.
Remember that you wouldn't hit a man with glasses. Remember that you wouldn't hit a man with glasses. You wouldn't fight somebody with glasses.
Right.
That ain't nothing no more.
I got the definition of a madman. A madman is someone who behaves in a way that seems mentally unstable, irrational, or dangerously unpredictable.
The scriptures tell you that was like.
You remember that series, Divergent.
Yeah.
The Dauntless
Yeah.
faction.
Yeah.
They got those chips in them.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers, they turn into straight drones and shit.
Yeah, that's muscle up.
They turn straight into straight up humanoids, man.
Fear was the rationale of fear was going out of their mind. But they were just completely set on the objective to be a reaper, so to speak.
Yeah. Like the spirit that's on the IDF over there, when they was carrying out them operations in Gaza, them motherfuckers were beyond humanity. They didn't give a fuck about nothing.
I seen a video where it was a guy already dead. They kept running over.
Yeah. They did that to a Christian woman over there. An old Christian woman. They shot her and then they left her there to bleed out. And then they was like, well, we don't know if she's dead yet. So let's go over there and try to finish her. They went back over there and put more bullets in her. Some people that walked by, they said that they still saw her breathing. So she wasn't completely dead yet, but she was just bleeding out. So what they do, the fucking IDF, they had tanks and rolled over our body multiple times. She's a Christian woman. Where you Christians at? Fucking hypocrites.
Is Matthew 24:12 says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. When you go into that word wax cold, it's psycho. G5594. It says
Psycho.
And when you go into that word psycho, so like psycho in the online edom, it says psycho, the shortening of psychological. Here it says the study of pertaining to the mind. It says since gradually shifted toward affecting or pertaining to a person's mental or emotional state.
And ultimately, it's an evil spirit. That's ultimately what that is. It's an evil spirit. Like basically a left-hand angel.
Yeah.
A left-hand angel gets on you and just take over your mind.
So Sirach, the spirit's created from this.
Huh. Yep.
I had Psalm 55. You still reading mine? You still reading, right? I got Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
It says, or a person, being a person who is mentally, emotionally unsound or unstable, especially in a way that results in dangerous and violent behavior.
Hey, like, Trump right now, right? You can take a look at how you can evaluate the way Trump has been moving, the moves that he's been making. You can tell that this man, he's kicked the can. But that actually makes it more dangerous. Because they're going to use him to make these decisions moving forward. Put everybody in fucking jeopardy, man.
He was trying to nuke.
They were trying to
like
the
weeks
nuclear
ago.
codes from. Because he was ready to go nuclear on Iran. But hey, that's really just a representation of the super rich elite. Because it tells you that in Psalms, the 73rd chapter, that violence covered them like a chain. Like when they feel like they're being crossed, or any type of wealth is being confiscated or lost, they start to get more and more cold. You know, they start to get more cold. Like was that in Psalm 14, where it talks about how the it says about the covetous drive up the soul. Talking about a nigger, somebody that's he's so envious. Yeah, he's so envious that if he feels any type of loss of what he's gathered for himself, he'll even he'll punish himself for it. Yeah.
It's Sirach 14, verse 8. It says, the envious man hath a wicked eye, he turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked dries up his soul.
The iniquity of the wicked drives up his soul. You know? So that's why with those international bankers, And that whole class that's actually controlling the likes of a Donald Trump or even a BB Satan Yahweh. These individuals, they're so greedy and so selfish with their wealth that if they feel any type of loss, or if they feel crossed by any country that's not willing to play ball to keep them getting rich, they're willing to basically destroy and sabotage their entire region, their whole country.
They do it.
That's what they do.
Yeah, they'll
You don't have a central bank, and you willing to put up a fight so that we don't put a central bank in your country? Oh yeah, we finna wipe y'all out.
we put sanctions on you first.
Yeah.
And then, that don't work. Like the other said, you wipe your ass out.
We gonna send the hammer to you, the hammer of the earth.
And then make an excuse like they're doing they're bombing their own people with chemical weapons.
Right.
They're that's all
Look at
they
the
do.
protests.
Yeah.
They're
killing protesters.
bro. You arm the protesters against their own government, and then
When their own government fights back,
then you tell the world, look, they're killing our own civilians. That's this man for you.
Then they have the media to paint the narrative where it looks like what they say.
they've always used that same narrative that this country got weapons of mass destruction. They did that in what was it, World War II. They used some type of propaganda where they said the Germans were killing babies or some shit. And it plays on the emotions of the people, so they'll back America, they'll back them to say, okay, yeah, we do need to go to war. And these dumbass people will enlist, and you don't have to worry about enlisting this time because they're going to draft your ass.
Well, don't be surprised that something called false flag, they can do that here and blame it on Iran to stir up the people to basically volunteer to go to war. So look, now they directly invaded or did something to our country. Now we can go back to right now. There's no field to go to war right now or go out there to fight for this government. They can do something.
Yeah, they did with 9/11.
Yep.
Remember that dude, the sniper movie? Yeah, that's why they said he went. No, not DC Sniper. Kyle. American Sniper. There you go. Yeah, that's why
And that's in their MO. They've done this in the past before, like you said. So I don't be surprised if this can happen again.
Let me throw this out there. I think it was Dallas that was alluding to it, but I we've been thinking the same thing. Why is it a prerequisite for every team or terror pushers to have to sit down and be sanely minded after they to come up with a plan? I'm gonna let y'all know exactly what I was gonna do, then I'm gonna go do it. Crazy shit. But then you gonna sit down, but to be right legibly, no codes, no crazy symbols and shit. You just write type it out all neat. Fuck out of here. Everyone has one. Every situation, they always have one. So they can always paint exactly what they were thinking.
Right.
Fuck out of here. Nobody does that. they never say, Satan told me to do it, or nothing crazy. It's always going right with their narrative. He had anti this in his house. He had pro this over there in his house. Everybody that placed him as the complete villain against the society.
Real quick, this is an example of what they call atrocity propaganda. It says the Naira testimony is a widely cited example of modern atrocity propaganda, where false or exaggerated stories of brutality are used to sway public opinion and justify military action. In October 1990, a 15-year-old girl known only as Naira testified to a U.S. Congressional caucus that she witnessed Iraqi soldiers stealing incubators from a Kuwaiti hospital, leaving hundreds of premature babies to die. This testimony played a critical role in rallying support for the U.S.-led Gulf War, with President George H.W. Bush citing the story multiple times. Wow. This is how they did it.
The same thing they did with October 7th. They said the Hamas people were decapitating babies, man. And doing They said they were fucking playing soccer with a baby head. They literally put shit like that in the media and repeat it nonstop to brainwash the people, you know, make you believe a narrative. They shape the narrative, man, so that they're able to control you and have your support.
You're playing with your emotions. That's what they're doing.
I went to Chap's, like I went to Chap and I asked Chap what war propaganda was, and of course they're gonna give you the PC answer, and then you have to ask Chap what are some war propaganda conspiracy theories, and they begin to break it down. This is the first one: false flag theories. Claim a government stages or allows an attack to justify war. Number two, we can go in on false flag. Manufactured enemies. Claims the government exaggerates or invents threats. Invents threats. Number three, media manipulation theories. Believe that news outlets are controlled to push pro-war narratives. It says casualties are underreported. Only one side of the story is shown. And 4, crisis actors. Stage footage claims of war scenes or victims are staged emotional impact.
They said the guy in DC was in a video or something with the guy, the vice president's brother's wife or something. Connection. But like, I mean, the pieces are ridiculous. Like, they can't even, it ain't like the internet ain't snitching on them. You know what I mean? Like, the internet's telling on them.
You know what's crazy? Alex Jones, when she just went off, he's pretty much no longer, InfoWars is pretty much done now. But he went down first over the Sandy Hook thing. But a lot of people were already talking about, they was putting the pieces together. A lot of people was decoding a lot of shit. They was like, man, come on, man. They make it more than obvious. But you can't be the one to talk about it.
Because killing kids, it strikes a nerve with American people.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? They said the main kid from Sandy was Noah something. I forget his name. They said, why is he the same age and look exactly like an older Kyle Rittenhouse? Yeah. Like, come on. When we saw what that Kyle Rittenhouse thing was all about, that was what? To push that systems ago kill people. That's pretty much what that was about. It's okay. They're going to get off of that.
That incident was that a year ago with that incident on that train.
Yep.
That Ukrainian girl. There was so many holes in that. People pointed out almost immediately. But then come to find out, the girl, they found her in some other atrocity.
Yeah.
Like what?
She's a crisis actor.
Yeah.
She's a crisis actor.
Yeah. You see how that Jason.
Bitch done died 3 times already.
It's sloppy. And the world is figuring you devils out. That's why you're going to have no choice but to just go to war with everybody. This is why you're going to come down with great wrath, knowing that you have with a short time. You in war mode because the world just figured you out. You know? So this devil, he's positioning himself. Because the world is getting ready to roll up against him.
Right, they'll sit there and say that they're concerned about the growing anti-Semitism.
Right.
But they don't explain why people are growing, that mindset is growing in the world. Well, look at the shit you're doing. You're behind every fucking atrocity, man. Every massacre, okay, every war crime, every fucking tragedy in some nation. You're behind it. The economy's fucked because of you. People are figuring you out. They know that it's you. So it's not that they hate you for who you are. It's like they hate you for what you're doing, man. You know? So that's why the laws that are being pushed out throughout the Western countries to stop hate speech.
Yep.
It's actually to stop criticism. To squash all criticism, man. To silence you. That's what it is. It's not, hate speech. To tell the truth, it's hate speech now.
In the time of universal deceit, speaking the truth is a revolutionary act.
hey, there was no reason for us to go over there on the surface. So but America the hero had to go and help the Middle East. No, you had an agenda in the Middle East. And this liar, 15-year-old liar,
And she come to find out, she was the daughter of a.
it's gonna say U.S. Congress. It's gonna say the daughter of the waiting ambassador
to the U.S.
Yeah, and I remember this because it was all over TV. It was probably on the whole month before Desert Storm opened up. An Iraqi something, Operation Iraqi something. I forget the name of it exactly. But it says in 1990, Nayara testimony was a fabricated, tearful account given. She was up there. You see it?
They trained her ass.
Erica Kirk style.
Yeah. Hey, what did you say?
Erica Kirk.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It says a tearful account given to the U.S. Congress on October the 10th, 1990, by a 15-year-old Kuwaiti girl, later revealed to be the daughter of a Kuwaiti ambassador to the U.S., Saul Nasir al-Sabah. She claimed Iraqi soldiers stole incubators in Kuwait, leaving babies to die, which became a key justification for Gulf War. And it's always inflated, right? It says key details of the
Listen, okay, why don't they never say when they're pushing propaganda, atrocity propaganda? Why is that never considered a conspiracy theory?
Right.
But when you tell the truth about the devil, it's conspiracy theory. Yeah. We don't ever have to fact check what they say. You just gotta go with it and let your emotions get triggered by what they're saying, so you could just blindly support it. But when you stand up and question this shit, all of a sudden, oh yeah, you're a misinformation spreader, you're a conspiracy theorist, and this, that, and the third. It's all mind warfare, psychological warfare.
I saw a clip of Mace talking about LeBron James and basically saying about the body steroids and some shit, basically. But what he said in it was an obvious thing. Like my eyes can't lie to me. Human nature can't lie to me. I can, I still have a reasonable mind to assess this for my own thought, right? A lot of us still have that. Not everybody. There's lower generations and younger generations that don't. But some of us are still alive that know how to critical think and figure things out. Because we can see that you're the problem, that Snopes never fact checks you. You'll go back and write a beautiful thing about it, but as soon as somebody brings out some truth on you, you automatically got, nope, fact check is wrong, nope, that was a lie, that was... Stop. You know you own those companies that do that.
We actually, humanity for the first time got to witness genocide live, man, on the internet. With the past atrocities of centuries ago and hundreds of years ago, we can only read about them. But we actually watched you. Committing the crimes, man. And you here telling us, no, that's not what you're seeing. It's not what it looks like. That's basically what you're telling us. It's not what it looks like, baby.
I see blood on your hands. I see the knife in your hand.
Exactly. You know?
Every country sees it. Like you said, the whole world is witnessing. Hey, the Middle Eastern countries and everybody else already knew. But it was you Americans that never seen the wickedness, in front of your faces that these small hats have been doing, man. So Yahweh Shemel Shai is, now pardoning you. And he's joining you with the blame, man. By Trump, being brought out by them small hats, man. The scripture saying the least of the flock shall draw them out. So now the Lord is exposing both these hoes, man.
Why? Because it's exposing your lack of empathy, your lack of humanity. All these issues that are missing in the world is pointing at you because you're the one that don't have it. You had something?
It's Isaiah 59:14 in the NLT. And it says, our courts oppose the righteous, and justice is nowhere to be found. Truth stumbles in the streets, and honesty has been outlawed.
This is the issue. The world's watching you be this way.
NLT.
The world's watching you be this way. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, truth is gone, and anyone who renounces evil is attacked. The Lord looked and was displeased to find there was no justice.
Right. You speak out against these crimes, you're painted as anti-Semitic. any form of criticism towards the Zionist regime is called anti-Semitic.
You can't say nothing about them.
Yeah.
You can't even say good shit about them. You can't even say good shit about
Don't
them.
bring us up at all.
They're good money managers. Oh, that's anti-sin.
Why do they feel the need to fund monitoring the internet, social media to pinpoint everybody that's speaking up against them? Why is that a necessity? You wasting resources.
What's that? Isaiah said you shouldn't be offended.
Make a man an offender.
Isaiah 29. You might bring that up to you. You might be right. Esau, man, he's gonna make us get off these streets because he's gonna ban the freedom of speech. If you get caught talking about the small hats, which is part of this ministry, you gotta basically call this devil out. It's a part of this ministry. It's a part of the prophecy. So the Lord's gonna have this man, come down with draconian measures. If you out there prophesying, teaching on the streets, you'll get thrown in jail. Or even worse, firing squad. So the Lord gonna take us off the street before Esau comes down with that. So it leads to the famine of the word. It's gonna be a famine of the word as well. The spiritual famine, which is way worse than the carnal famine. The famine of food and bread that you can eat, to satisfy your body. But yeah, man, the doors is closing on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. The doors of grace is closing. You got that?
It's Isaiah 29 and verse 18. And in that day, the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity.
I'm sorry. That's 16. And the reason why we got the point is in 21. The point is in 21, but it's going to paint a narrative of us waking up prior to speaking the truth against this man. Okay?
We at the point where he can't hide it no more. You can't lie no more. Your narrative is not the only narrative no more. It's too many cameras. The eyes are on you, man. It's in verse 15. We'll jump up to verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark.
Can't say nothing against them.
What's that quote we always quote? To know who is in rulership, see who you cannot criticize. It says, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say to him that framed it, he had no understanding? Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest.
And this is basically springing up with righteousness, with the truth. The truth hasn't come out. The growth of this man being his evil works, and the growth of the truth coming out, and the righteousness of it. Like this stuff is basically when you water something, eventually it's gonna sprout. Well, this man's wickedness is being watered, and it's gonna sprout, as well as just speaking the truth is being watered, and it's gonna sprout. Okay, so this is the time that it's talking about when it brings up that.
That's right. When it says his rust have not been altogether wiped away, it's been painted over, but it's eaten through now. It's verse 18, and in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity.
Now people are starting to, because at some point they're gonna get to a point where they're like, you know what? I thought I heard something like this. I was watching something. What was it? Oh, it was the Hebrew Israelites. They were the ones putting all. We had these little pieces, but they're putting all the pieces together. And that's gonna be the issue. We're putting all the pieces together. We're not only saying he's a small hat and he's an imposter. We're telling he's the devil the Bible speaks of in the human form.
We're going to the origins.
Yeah, we're going all the way back, and we're lining it all up with a book that the world respects. The world respects this book. Okay, not the small hat, because he knows he's a villain in it.
Breaking down things that already happened, as well as predicting things that's gonna happen.
Right.
It's down the spirit. That's right. It says, and out of darkness, the meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And the poor among men shall rejoice in
That's
the
the job we're doing. It's important because that's the job we're doing. The Christians ain't done it. You false ass Israelites and other groups or whatever your other beliefs, you ain't doing it. We're the ones doing it for the living powers. In truth and sincerity. Me. Yep, alone.
It says, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel.
Yep.
For the terrible one is brought to naught,
Yep.
and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off.
That's happening because of this word. We're calling him out with this word. And it's lining up with the plans of what the Heavenly Father's doing. We're starting to watch him shoot himself in the foot. Okay? Because the curses are starting to come on. He can't make shit line up no more. He can't get things off the way he's been known to do.
Hey, and it says the watchers of iniquity.
Yep.
Is that what it says? It says the watchers of iniquity is cut off.
The terrible one is brought to naught. The scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off.
And all that watch for iniquity are cut off.
I said that in a different translation.
Somebody get another translation.
It's back in Isaiah 29.
NLT?
Yeah, NLT. Verse 20. It says, the scoffer will be gone, the arrogant will disappear, and those who plot evil will be killed. Those who convict the innocent by their false testimony will disappear. A similar fate awaits those.
That's what it means by watchers for iniquity being cut off. Because it tells you that in Revelation 12 how he would be an accuser. Because this devil, he always manages to twist the narrative anytime he gets caught in something major or groundbreaking that would normally elicit outrage, a public outrage from the people. He always uses his medium, which is he uses media, and then he does what you call a narrative spin, and then he finds somebody on a sign to throw out there for people to be an outrage of.
In the GMT it says, those who tell lies to keep honest people from getting justice.
Yeah. Esau do something wicked, and he'll hurry up and try to find a Jake that may have committed a similar crime, or maybe not even as bad as the crime that he committed, but at least he'll throw Jake's face out there, plaster him all over media, and now everybody's talking about the Jake, and not this Edomite that he just got a slap on the wrist.
Like the spokesman. Yeah. Like the Edomite over in Henderson.
Yeah. He was trafficking children.
He was like a small head Edomite.
Yes.
And he sent him back to Israel.
Wasn't no uproar, no nothing.
He was connected within the government, I believe, some shit. Yeah.
Bro, they do way worse with their trafficking and their torturing of children and all that. But yet, what is the media focused on right now? Some little singer nigga from LA who killed the teenage chick, and they found her in his trunk or something like that. He was supposed to be a signed R&B artist, David or something like that. They running him all throughout the media. Oh, this guy is give him the death penalty.
Which it is a fucked up thing.
It's wicked as fuck. It's wicked.
They do it on a global
But this is what they do. This is normal for them.
It's like 1 year.
But they gotta put Jake in front of you to channel that outrage from them onto us.
Let me throw another one. Epstein was out there, Weinstein was out there. Keep going with them, right? Steins, right? But who they throw out there? Diddy and R. Kelly, the worst thing going. But they ain't even got them for them heavy crimes that them other guys is for. Diddy, somebody said Diddy out there went to jail for being a freak. R. Kelly went to jail because he wouldn't let his bitch leave without asking. You know? And he had 2 of them or some shit like that.
Meanwhile, you got whole shipping cargoes, containers with little kids in it. Yeah, that's a logistics thing. That's being controlled by your government entities.
They the biggest drug dealers too. Remember that shit that was JP Morgan Chase had that ship where they had, I don't know, had coke in it. It had tons of coke in it going to Europe.
See? But they don't ever be like, look, we got caught, y'all. No, they don't say that. They say, look at this, look at that over there.
Was that Slumdog Millionaire? Where they had, when I was taking Ismail or Elon. I was taking Elon kids. Hey, Smart's in charge of the stuff like that, man.
Can you finish that verse 21? That's before the word.
Back in Isaiah 28, verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word. Verse 20, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reprove in the gate.
Yep, so Esau, he's coming down with these legislations. You know, banning your freedom of speech. He's doing it now. You know, it's certain that, you know, Esau been cutting our videos. Yep, you know, he's been cutting. It seems like a wave. He does it in waves. Yep, you know, I know, like 10 years ago, he was straight cutting our shit. Yeah, straight. Yep, you know, now you know. Let you breathe for a little minute. Now, you know, I put up videos, I can't hear the audio. Yeah. So he does it in waves to that ultimate wave. You know, no more doing videos, no more prophesying out on the streets. That's the famine of the word. The Lord warned our people about that.
And it looked like the elders and guys were saying also, they were saying, it looked like when that King James Bible online went down, they know because they have the Apocrypha in it, they know that's us. That directly relates to us. Anybody using that book probably knows who the major players in the Bible are on earth today, right? They said they probably ran AI through it to scan and Palantir to scan who's using it so they can read these IP addresses and locations, right?
Yeah, I think it's mercy also by, like the elder was saying about how Esau moves in waves, but they're not taking as many videos down because our brothers know you put up a video, you go to sleep, put a video up, by the time you wake up, you got an email. The Lord is showing mercy right now by allowing a lot of brothers' videos to go up and stay up to get the edification for the elect, because when they hit the switch, they're gonna do a whole completely reboot of YouTube. You're gonna have a ID to get on, a certain number or whatever system they're gonna come up with, but the truth not gonna be able to be found.
Hey, when they say make a man an offender for a word, that's not just monitoring. That's not just cutting video. It's gonna come a time where, like the brother read earlier, it's gonna be an insurrection, which means a violent uprising against those that fear the Lord. So how shit looking right now, come the end of this year, it's gonna be looking real different. We don't know. It might be drastic.
I got you real quick. But it's important that you're not afraid of what this man's coming with. That you still gotta be bold to put this out there. Because that is what the Heavenly Father's looking for. You gotta be bold unto death. A lot of you people are like, well, that's bold. You just convinced me. I'm not doing that. I don't need to be hemmed up by the police. No, you do need to be hemmed up if it come to that. Right? Because the Heavenly, for righteousness' sake, the Heavenly Father, who will stand up against, how's it go?
We shall stand up against the evil doers.
Yeah.
Hey, we've seen all those journalists that have been fucking killed over there for simply reporting the war, the crimes.
That's a war crime.
Those journalists, they're responsible for reporting the news to the world. Well, they were killed for doing that. So you best believe that when the atrocities come here, and if you're reporting on that, you will be targeted.
The Lord's reports, prophets, we're reporting what he saw doing.
We're witnesses. But we're under heavenly witness protection. If I may, real quick, I don't know if y'all brothers know about this. Some of y'all might be privy to it. But there's a bill that was introduced in Canada called the C9 Combating Hate Act. It says it's a legislation known as Bill C9, the Combating Hate Act, has passed the House of Commons and is moving through the Senate, prompting intense debate over potential impacts on religious freedom. It says removal of good faith defense. The main point of contention is a proposed amendment that would remove the criminal code's 56-year-old good faith exemption, which previously protected people from being convicted of hate speech if they were expressing a sincere opinion on a religious subject or a belief based on religious texts.
Well, here's the difference. How many years ago? 56, right? 56 years ago, what was the difference? Well, they felt good because their narrative was out there with Christianity. The theologians had the text in play, and that was working. But also around that time, when you do the math,
That was,
the truth was coming out.
That when FDR had formulated the 501
I think it was
because nobody, this truth wasn't out there like that. Men had it and it was waking up around that time, but this was prior to they had the setup already. They're like, this is what you believe. And no one threw a crazy narrative to their opinion, a far out narrative. Now, no one's using the Bible like Christians use it really. The Bible's used like niggas just saying, yeah, God said you can smoke weed right here. You can find that in the Bible.
Who was that one, the athlete recently? Jalen Ivan. He was speaking out against same-sex marriage and homosexuality, and they basically booted him out the team. Yeah.
They're trying to cancel Kendrick Lamar right now for saying something.
See? It says critics, including conservative MPs, religious leaders, and civil liberty groups, argue that without this defense, quoting Bible verses regarding marriage, sexuality, or sin can be interpreted as willful promotion of hatred against LGBTQ plus communities. Some critics argue this could lead to the criminalization of traditional faith-based views.
Or maybe
this is in Canada, by the way.
The first thing it made me think of was what these other people try to do to us. We can't just teach about Deuteronomy 22. We gotta be doing it to teach it. No, matter of fact, we're not teaching it. We're just trying to advocate for it, what you're trying to make it sound like. No, we're telling you how to judge on it. We're teaching how to judge on it. The scriptures tell you how to judge. But that's not what they want. You can't judge them. You can't criticize. There are other people that you can't criticize.
Sometimes you gotta be logical, because it's so fucking mad. Like, this is a bizarre. So I can't say what's wrong about this lifestyle, even though we know the Most High told us it's against nature to do it.
And he warned about it.
So when these same people practice this and do this, and then a deadly sexually transmitted disease festers, are you going to condemn the disease and say that the disease was being discriminatory and it got the disease is hateful, is performing hatred against human beings? But you would have to be a mad person to think that.
This devil would do that, and then he points somebody like Jake that came out of a nigga out of Africa or something. That's what he do.
I like them saying God hates
Why was the Mpox that was a couple years ago? The Mpox was spreading everywhere, but they were saying that it was mainly only infecting the mugs. They were the only ones that was getting it. You know? But if that same person come and hit on me, I'm supposed to just, you know what I'm saying? This is Sodom and Egypt. That's how you know this is Sodom and Egypt. But going back to Isaiah 29, when you speak out against wickedness, that's how they make you an offender, standing up for righteousness. This is the world, the same serpent who told Eve that good is evil and evil is good.
Yeah, they're calling a liar. They're calling a liar the truth, and the truth is a liar.
Yeah.
216 it started.
Yeah.
9/11 began. When they killed all those people for nothing, right? That would be our people, right? So fuck them. Take them out. God bless you. I need confirmation from God.
Just God. The Lord gonna tell me about it.
You'll know it's the Lord through my tongue. confirmation on the warning. That part.
This is Psalms 37.
That could have been that was a spirit just confirming what we're talking about. That's all that was. It was a spirit that got on him. He don't know a spirit was on him. Just say that.
What he just said. He told him like, you just said this. He's saying the right thing.
Psalms 37 and verse 14. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. So first comes the criminality of speech, making you, demonizing you with their media, basically putting the scope on you. The crosshairs now are on those who speak truth. The accusation comes, and now they have justification to do whatever they want with you. They can jail you, they can kill you, whatever it takes to silence you. Okay? And they don't see anything wrong with it because you're in the way of them forwarding their enterprise. You know?
Yeah, this is revolutionary what we're doing. It's considered revolutionary.